Are you tired of losing the Honda spamming butt slam and headbutts? Well, so was I. So much so that I decided to watch hours of high-level Honda footage to understand what goes on in the mind of a Honda player. Not that they have much going on in their minds anyways. Nevertheless, I was able to formulate a counter strategy against the character, so in this video, I'll be breaking down Honda's gameplay and revealing my counter strategy for the character. So if you enjoy these type of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because we're leveling up every day. Let's top off the sidelines and let's get it. So Honda's game plan is very simple because it revolves around two moves. And that is his headbutt and his other move, which is called the butt slam. The reason why Honda's game plan revolves around these two moves is due to how strong they are for the character. So for example, headbutt, if I were to do it on block, is safe, but then it also does a great deal amount of drive gauge. So if I do headbutt on block, it takes about a bar away of drive gauge. So that move takes away drive gauge if it's blocked. Now, if it's hit, a Honda can get an Oki situation off of it by either drive rushing forward, or he can also set up his install, which buffs his hands. Now for butt slam is plus on block, meaning Honda is advantageous. And then not only that, he has the ability to choose which side he wants to land on. So he can land on front and still be plus, and then he can land on the back and also be plus, but you would have to block it as a cross up. And so what that allows me to do, it allows me to frame trap my opponent if they try to mash after it. Also, another thing I did forget to mention about butt slam is if they get knocked down, Honda gets Oki off of it as well too. So if my opponent gets hit, I can get a meaty situation. So whenever you're playing a Honda, expect a heavy dosage of usage of those two moves. And so the question is, how do we stop pretty much the spamming of special moves? Because it doesn't matter where you at on the screen, unless you're full screen away, headbutt and butt slam are still a threat with this character. Now, it's going to change a bit what he does depending on the range that you're at. So this right now is character starting position. As mentioned before, butt slam and headbutt are still a threat. But then there's also another wrinkle from this distance that you have to think about as well too, and that is his drive rush. He can do a drive rush, stand medium punch, or medium kick, or whatever Hondas like to do from this range, so something like this, and be +5 with standing medium punch. So if I'm from this distance, a common answer that I see most people try to do to deal with both the headbutt and the butt slam is to perfect parry. Now you can just be in this range right here and just have parry be your defensive option. You hope for the perfect parry, but if not, you would just get the regular parry. You'll still be -4, and I think you might be able to kind of stop Honda from counter poking after the headbutt, which is something they typically like to do. We also have to kind of look at doing some alternative methods for dealing with butt slam, because I think from this distance you can do other things to butt slam besides just parry. So maybe like a jump back roundhouse or something like that. The jump back jab. I know characters with air throws, they don't have to worry about this because they can just air throw the character. So that's an option if you have an air throw. This right here, I think is a decent range. So let's take a look at, a closer range, right? Say you want to play in a closer range. You're gonna have to deal with the headbutt, right? So you still get your perfect parries. I feel like here it's harder to even just get the parry because your reaction time gets shrunk down due to the fact that the headbutt is... So if it's heavy, it's 14 frames. You can do it, but I think it's a little bit harder for you to do your parry on the headbutt when you're a bit up close. So that's something you would have to keep in mind. Yeah, butt slam you would have to parry different to get the perfect parry. So it's doable for you to play in this range. But the other thing you have to think about is the fact that he's going to be using normals. stuff like this, stuff like this, stuff like that can come into play. So you would have to whiff punish his normals while also looking out for butt slam and headbutt. I've also got to mention Sumo Spirit does come into play when he's also in that range if he has it set up so he can cancel any of his normals in the hands. That is another wrinkle that I did forget to mention. So if you're in the up close range, another thing you do have to worry about is Sumo Spirit. But for me, it doesn't matter where you play at in this matchup. That's what it seems like. You're gonna have to deal with three things regardless of where you're at. You want to deal with whiff punishing the normals, headbutt and butt slam up close, or do you want to deal with the headbutt, butt slam, and drive rush a little bit further away? So I don't know. It just depends on you.